took a .357 Magnum and shot her mom 3 times and killed her.
A look on her face that was totally unfamiliar to him. It was not the Carly that he knew.
I don't know what happened. My wife is dead. What's on?
And just shot her mom.
Oh my God, she killed her mom.
She what?
She killed her mom.
She killed her mom? Where's the mom
She killed her
at?
mom, and when I do this, she tried to kill me.
Where's the mom at? Sir. Sir. Sir.
God, why?
Okay, sir. Where's your wife?
She's dead on the floor of my stepdaughter's room.
Just a stepdad, but a real father to her.
She ran into the backyard. I tried to follow her. She jumped the fence and ran. She shot me in the neck. It's okay, I think.
Does she still have the gun?
It's on the kitchen counter. I think there's one light round left in it. I opened the cylinder.
Well, what I was going to say is if you need to get anything with him, do it.
Yeah.
And,
we're going to have somebody come to the hospital, I'm sure. The gun that's used is right there on the counter in the kitchen. No.
Meanwhile, another police unit picks up Carly Gregg.
Kilo unit was got the female subject in custody. Investigations requested she be brought here to the scene.
Carly was fine. Her mom was fine, not upset. From the video footage from the garage, they did not appear to be fighting. There was no argument taking place in the car when they pull up in the driveway.
From the video, it seems that Ashley Smiley goes to her daughter's room to the right of the kitchen. Carly Gregg checks on where her mom is and then goes outside with the family dogs. Ashley confirms that her daughter is outside.
He shoots her one more time, point blank in the face.
That she was secretly cutting on her thigh using a knife. You'll hear that she secretly had burner phones her mom and stepdad didn't know about that she was using. You'll hear that she had secret weed vape pens and that she was secretly smoking those vape pens and getting high before going to school at times. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not why we're here though. We're here, Smiley, and the injuries to Heath Smiley. However, this is a why case. Why did it happen? Why did this exceptional child with no history of violence, who was loved by her friends, her teachers, her parents, who had a good home life, who loved her mother, why did she shoot her mom? Why did she shoot at her stepfather? The state would like you to believe the answer to those questions don't matter.
But we know better than that.
March 12th, Tuesday, she writes, I think I had a psychotic break earlier. The whole ordeal was quite silly. I actually spoke with one of the voices in my head. My particular friend and I were practically screaming, bloodthirstily and ravenously. Thank God, physical confrontation was not, and I think it's fruitively, possible. I sound crazy.
Carly had written a journal entry about her friend, quote unquote, the voice, taking over and feeling like it was taking over control of her and she was losing control of herself to the voice in her head, and she was worried about it.
What, if any, diagnostic impressions did you come to based on the records you reviewed, your experience, your expertise, your evaluation of Carly and the family members that you spoke to?
Number one, her mood disorder, right? So I gave her the diagnosis of bipolar 2, and I saw her as having suffered from some significant depression and then some hypomanic episodes, and then worsening a mood disorder that was worsened by the Lexapro medication from March 12th onward. Certainly in the week or weeks leading up to the incident, the voices were becoming more prominent, more urgent, more of a problem, and likely really had crossed over into the domain of what I would call psychosis.
Her friends had reported that she had become very irritable, on edge, which sort of matches with what we're seeing from the signs of mental illness, that she had, withdrawn a little bit more, wasn't her like normal happy-go-lucky self.
I think Carly has a much more severe psychiatric illness than anybody realized.
Do you believe that Carly was able to understand the nature of her conduct and appreciate the difference between right and wrong at the time this incident occurred on March 19th?
I don't think so.
Carly's defense team, they only called one expert witness, but I believe that they felt very strongly about their defense and felt like what he had to say would be sufficient.
The prosecution calls 4 mental health experts, and they have a much different take on Carly Gregg's state of mind.
So she's denying seeing things. Did she report that she was hearing voices? No thoughts of abnormal or psychotic thoughts, is that correct?
Right.
What was her behavior like?
Completely normal.
One nurse practitioner testifies that the change in Carly Gregg's medication could have affected her behavior. Other experts disagree.
They put on their experts to show that there is no way
If that Carly Gregg actually has either bipolar 1 or bipolar 2.
I highly doubt and do not believe that Carly has bipolar disorder.
the prosecution was very thorough. 4 people evaluated this defendant on the prosecution side, giving 4 different evaluations that came to the same conclusion. That's extremely strong evidence for the prosecution.
And I stand by that word. I do not believe Carly is a diabolical person. I do not believe she's an evil person. When Carly on that day went and unlocked the phone, texted a specific target, her stepfather, who she told me was more of a father figure to her than Kevin was, and said, "You almost home, honey." When she did that to me, that was very specific and diabolical. And that to me is not consistent with a dissociative spell. That is not consistent with psychosis. That is not consistent with mania. And it's definitely not consistent with hypomania. To me, that was deceitful.
The defense would have had to have established that Carly didn't know that what she did was wrong, that she had some psychotic break that stopped her from being basically a human being, knowing that killing is forever, shooting your mother is not right, and that your behavior is criminal in this regard.
What was your ultimate opinion as to whether or not Carly Gregg was insane at the time of the murder, attempted murder, and tampering with physical evidence on March the 19th, 2024?
So my opinion is that Carly does not meet Mississippi's standard for insanity at the time of the offense, and that she knew the nature, quality, and wrong.
Truth is rarely pure and never simple. It's what Oscar Wilde said. While she was having a state of psychosis in an episode of acute stress on March 19th, she lost herself in what was the perfect storm. I am asking you, for those reasons, to please find Carly Gregg not guilty by reason of insanity and finally quell this storm for Carly and her family. I ask you to search your hearts and remember the undisputed truths in this case.
A lot to consider in what is a very difficult case. What will the jury decide when it comes to 15-year-old Carly Gregg?
For lack of a better word, just an evil person.
In the case of 15-year-old Carly Gregg charged with the murder of her mother and the attempted murder of her stepfather, the jury reaches a verdict.
Ms. Gregg, please rise and come to the podium, along with your attorneys. Carly Madison Gregg, guilty of attempted murder, as charged in the indictment. Count 3. We, the jury, find the defendant, Carly Madison Gregg, guilty of tampering with evidence as charged in the indictment. Please be seated, Ms. Gregg.
It was less than 2 hours, so they come back and they found her guilty on all 3 counts. The